As long as I was going after the crooks that didn't have badges, I was everybody's hero.
Vic, it is December 7th, 2020. A year that will live in infamy.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons. Today is Pearl Harbor Day.
It is. And it's also
This is the 1-year anniversary of Netflix.
It is the Confession Killer.
Running the Confession Killer. I got a funny story to tell you, though.
Fire
about
away.
Pearl Harbor. It's not about Pearl Harbor. It's about my dad. My dad was in the Navy.
Right.
He was on one of the destroyers that helped guard the Missouri during the signing of the unconditional surrender.
Right. The Japanese, yes.
I made the mistake once of saying in front of my dad the peace treaty, and he corrected me really fast, said it was not a peace treaty. It was an unconditional surrender.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was in the Navy. He was there. And so we're talking on the phone yesterday evening, and he says, you know, he's 93. I turned the news on for a while today, and nobody even mentioned Pearl Harbor as the country forgotten. And I said, Dad, this is December 6th.
Yeah.
He goes, but it's Sunday? Pearl Harbor was bombed on Sunday. And I go, yeah, but it was Sunday, December 7th back then. It was December 6th this year. He goes, oh, okay.
Fair enough.
I'll turn on the news tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, I love my dad. And it was a year ago today that Netflix first aired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Super cool. My son was living in Mexico, and he was able to watch it in Mexico on the day that it premiered.
Right.
And that night or the next morning, he wrote me the sweetest email. I mean, it was a full page long about Netflix and what a good job he thought they had done, and how pleased he was with the whole thing. He binge watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, he died.
Right.
And I miss my son terribly. This Thursday, matter of fact, the day that this episode airs,
yes,
December the 10th, we're airing it December the 10th. That will be 1 year that he's been dead. Mm-hmm. And he and his mom and I, we've talked about it a lot. We miss him terribly. You know, we do. We just miss him.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. He just left a gaping hole in my heart, his mom's heart, his son's heart, and his wife Mabel.
Yeah.
But anyway, life goes on. We pray for him. This is our last episode of the year. I want to come back and talk about Greg some more in a minute, because my ex-wife found something when she was going through some boxes, and she gave it to me. It's a jewelry box. I don't know if y'all can see this.
Yeah.
It's a jewelry box made out of wooden matchsticks that Henry Lee Lucas made for her back when I was representing Henry Lee. And inside, she was keeping this little note.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I will read it and explain it after a while.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Yeah, it's old. It's paper's turning brown and getting brittle.
Oh my God.
It's about 35 years old.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, for having one eye, man, Henry was pretty good with those matchsticks.
Yeah, wasn't he? And considering they don't let you have many tools or anything in TDC in the prison. No, he would use a razor blade like he used to shave with, and he'd wrap a sock around one end of it and cut them. Cut them that way.
Oh my God.
Each and every one. And also those clocks I've got over there.
Yeah, you got a couple clocks too.
Yeah, a couple clocks. Which
are huge.
4 or 5 of those clocks.
Oh my God. Well, he had time.
And I've got 8 or 10 of his paintings.
Yeah.
So, and God bless old Henry, wherever he is too.
Yeah, man. Look at the craftsmanship on that thing, though. That's crazy. That dude was not messing around. Good job, Henry.
Yeah.
Man, he can really do some woodworking.
Yeah, he did. But this is our last episode of the year. We wanted to be kind of a wrap up.
Yeah, we're trying to shut this year down.
Yeah.
Put this baby to bed.
I'm ready for 2021. I'm ready for the vaccine.
Yep.
As soon as my number comes up to take it, I'm taking it.
This isn't the draft. This isn't Vietnam, Vic.
Well, it's going to be given in tiers,
Right.
And I'm pretty old, but I was going to wait until my wife could take it. She's a good bit younger than me. And she says, no, as soon as you're able to take it, you're going to take it because then that helps protect me. And I said, oh,
yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
She's a smart lady.
It's going to healthcare workers first, right?
I think so. First responders. Then nursing homes.
Right.
And people over 80. They ought to give it to teachers.
Yeah, man.
That's
true.
For sure. For real. They're talking keeping the schools open and how important that is. Let's get our teachers in line, man. Mm-hmm. They need to get it. Crazy. I'm going to get it as soon as I can. All of our former presidents, except for one, and have said they're going to take it on TV.
Right.
And the one, I don't know if he's said he's going to take it or not. He's denying that the COVID thing even exists. He's denying that he lost the election too.
Well, he's already had it, so
Well, yeah. And now I hear today Giuliani's got it. So
Yep.
And we're in the same room together today.
We are.
We got the door closed.
We do.
But you and I both live like hermits, man.
Yeah, it's been a pretty hermit year for both of us. Hey, man, you make the sacrifices that you need to for everybody else.
We do. But hey, if you need to do some Christmas shopping and you're looking for some stocking stuffers and you don't feel like going to Walmart or Target,
go to VicFazell.com.
VicFazell.com. Get some stocking stuffers. We've
Bumper
got bumper stickers, coffee, great coffee. Let me tell you about our coffee. We've got one called Henry's Glass Eye. And on the label is a glass eye in a lid to a coffee jar.
Yep.
With a little water in it. That's inspired by a story that was told right here on this podcast by Hugh Ainsworth. The very first time he met Henry Lucas in Lucas's jail up in Montague. And Henry's eye was out and was soaking in a coffee jar lid. And it was staring at him. So we named that one Henry's Glass Eye in honor of Hugh Ainsworth. And we're sending a bag of Henry's Glass Eye coffee to Hugh and Paula Ainsworth for Christmas. It's going out in 2 days' mail.
I like it.
Yeah. And we have some regular customers that order from us every once in a while.
We do, man. We got some monthly folks. The coffee's rolling.
Yeah.
We're keeping Pinewood busy with roasting to keep up with our orders.
Next time some of our regulars make the order, let's ask them if they'd mind a shout out. Some of our people are really private.
Sure.
And don't want their names mentioned on the air. But if they don't mind a shout out, we'd like to say who some of our regular listeners are and who drinks our coffee. Sometimes out of our own coffee cups. We also have Vic Fazell coffee cups that we sell.
Yeah.
And
get some merch.
And buy my book. Buy my book.
Where can we get your book?
You can get it on Amazon.com.
Excellent.
Or if you want an autographed copy, you can buy it from our website. And I'll sign it however you want me to sign it. and we'll mail it to you. So, check that out. It's Rhinos, Sharks, and Unicorns, The Hero's Journey.
I like it.
Yeah. And book 2 will be out probably this spring, depending on how much more editing has to be done on it.
Or quarantining has to be done.
Yeah. And how soon we get back into the courtroom. Once we get back into the courtroom, my writing is going to slow down because we've got cases stacked up.
We do.
Like, it's like the observation tower at DFW, We're just watching them circle, and we're going to be landing them one at a time.
That's right.
And these insurance companies are taking advantage of this COVID situation, and they're not hardly even offering medical bills these days.
Yeah, they're not offering medical bills.
Sometimes offering less than medical bills. So we're having to file the lawsuit.
They're being very bad people now.
They're being bad people.
Very, very bad.
They really are. They're taking advantage of the situation. They're sitting on all that money. You've paid those premiums for a reason. And now they don't want to cough it up.
They don't.
They don't keep their word. They remind me of other people I've met and have seen on TV that just talk, and never keep their word. So, keep your word. It's important to keep your word. If you're only as good as your word. You are. I always try to keep my word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the Henry's Glass Eye. We also have one called the DA's Office Blend.
Yeah.
That it's pretty good coffee. I wanted it to be really bad coffee, but Pinewood just refused to do that for me, because when I was DA, we only drank the cheapest, and it was usually old and stale. And by the end of the day, it was nasty. And we'd go through 40 pots a day in that.
You're joking.
Well, at least 12.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I went through 40 cups easily.
Dude, that's so or maybe it's healthy. I don't know. We have to get a physician's
I don't drink that much now.
Opinion on that.
No, I limit it to about 8 cups a day now.
I mean, at that point, you were more coffee than human.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's why I was in trouble all the time. I look back at some of the old videos and I go, did I say that?
You
Oh,
did?
man, that's too much caffeine, man. There's a song about that, about hanging around downtown and I had too much caffeine.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's
That was
me.
you.
I had too much caffeine. I was always picking fights. Yeah.
Oh, man. It's something else.
Yeah. But down to now I only do about 8 a day and I'm chill. If I did less than 8, it'd be hard to wake me up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I am at peace with the world.
Wow.
Until I step into the courtroom, then watch out.
Watch it.
Watch it. Watch out.
Well, Vic, we also have a third coffee called the Victory Blend.
We have the Victory Blend, yes.
I like this one.
And that was inspired by MC Yogi.
VIC.
Yeah.
Tori.
Because he wrote that out for me when I ordered a T-shirt from him.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he said, you are VIC, underline Torius. That'd be a good name. That'd be a good name. So kudos to MC Yogi, Nick, for giving us that idea. And on the DA's office blend, let me tell you, Barry Johnson's going to have to run for re-election.
Oh, yeah?
Next election cycle. And I know this year he's been hamstrung.
Fair.
You know, because of COVID. There's not even anybody in that office right now. You call,
right.
People call 3-4 days in a row. Nobody even answers the phone.
Well, they had to shut it down, right? Because somebody tested positive over there.
More than one.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So this year is kind of a draw for old Barry, but he could still be making some policy decisions and changing the way that the local criminal justice system works, because it needs to be changed. We need to quit using bail as a punishment. Bail is supposed to be to make sure people show up for court. It's not a punishment to keep them in jail, as long as you possibly can. And then, hey, we'll plead you to your back time. Come on, folks.
Yeah, it's not
And
cool.
then they get a conviction. If they want a trial, they're entitled to a trial, but they shouldn't have to sit in jail and wait for it. That's just draconian. It's mean. And in my opinion, it's unconstitutional. Joe Biden, if you're going to expand the Supreme Court to 11, put me on the court. I'd be a good compromise, because I'm so old, I'm not going to live that long. Maybe the next president could appoint my replacement. But put me up there and let me help make some of the changes that need to be made, like to our bail system, and make it constitutional.
Right.
And Barry hadn't tried any major cases. He hadn't been in the courtroom himself much, By this time when I was DA, I had already won several capital murder cases.
Yeah, you were rocking.
Yeah, sex assault cases. I was trying them left and right. So Barry needs to get busier. He's gonna have them swarming after that job, man.
Right.
Now, one thing you could do, if you know him, tell him to push the Lily Heffley case.
Oh, we've talked about that case.
We've had 2 episodes on that case and still nothing's done.
Jeez.
It was way last spring. They were telling us they had DNA.
Right. And supposedly they'd send it off for testing, right?
Yeah, to the DPS. How long does it take, dudes? I mean, most everybody who knows anything about that case knows who did it. Right. And it's his DNA on that cigar.
Yep.
And if he didn't have powerful friends, he'd already be in jail.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I could be wrong. There's always a possibility because I hadn't seen all the evidence.
True.
But I do know about that. And that question needs to be answered. The DNA needs to be tested. How long are people going to sit on their hands before they get fed up and throw him out of there and put somebody in who will push? You need a DA who will, number one, push the cops to do their job. And number two, hold them back for being too hard against common, ordinary citizens.
Right.
You know, all this stop and search BS just to see if you might have a little weed in the car, that's wrong, people. That's just wrong. The House of Representatives, the United States House of Representatives, just passed a bill to decriminalize marijuana.
Yes.
And to wipe out the record, the criminal record of people who've been convicted of small amounts.
Love it.
People that it's messed them up to be able to get a job. There's probably enough support in the Senate for it to pass. Mm-hmm. But one man, Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, Satan's right hand, he says it's not getting past me. It'll never make it to the Senate floor. People write Mitch McConnell a letter, send him emails, you know, get his attention. Don't go throw rocks at him. Don't do stuff like that. Don't do anything mean or violent, but make your voices heard. Make your voices heard. You know, back during the early days of the Women's Rights Amendment, Equal Rights Amendment for women, there was a lot of bra burning. Well, we need to be burning a lot of weed, people. We do. In protest. Get out there by the thousands, especially in Washington, D.C. They're not going to arrest you for it there. It's already legal. And have a 1 million-man smoke march. But this thing, it's got to be legal. It's got to be legalized because that's one of the ways that the police and the state uses this law, this marijuana law, to be racist.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
push forward their racist agenda, which is to lock up everybody who's black and brown. And if they see somebody who's black or brown, hey, they probably have weed.
That's the gateway
Doesn't that look like a broken taillight to you? Well, I don't know about that, but that license plate is sure dirty. I think one of the numbers is covered up. Let's pull them over and search their car. People say no. You have a constitutional right to say no. You have to be careful because some of these guys don't know the Constitution. Some of them don't know the law. But ask for their supervisor. Just say, please call your supervisor. You don't have a right to search my car. Well, I smell weed. Get your supervisor out here and see if your supervisor smells weed. And then it's not just your imagination or your upper lip that you're smelling.
There you go.
Yeah. So
It's true.
we got to do something. God, please do something about Mitch McConnell. And let's legalize weed, and it would go a long way to reducing the tension between the police and our minority communities.
Not to mention the tax income. What did they say? It's like a 5% federal tax on it is what they proposed.
I don't know, but I know Colorado's sure been making a lot of tax money, and a lot of other states have. I toured one of the schools that weed money built in Colorado a few years ago. Fabulous school. Fabulous public school with a computer at every desk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No more textbooks. They had iPads to take home with them instead of textbooks.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
And they go, well, what if it's stolen? Well, they have trackers on them, you know? They have trackers on them.
That's true.
So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So we have the DA's office blend. We have Henry's Glass Eye.
We have the Victory Blend.
The Victory Blend.
All delicious.
Yeah, and we have 10-ounce bags, or if you want just a really good pot, we have a 3-ounce bag.
Yeah. Yep.
How many pots will 3 ounces make?
It'll make you usually 2 pots.
2 pots.
Yeah.
2 pots. So if you're in one of those states where you're fortunate enough that weed is legal, you can have a pot of our coffee with your pot that you're smoking. So have a wake and bake.
Yes, you can.
And Barry Johnson, do something about Lily Heffley, would you?
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's a case that should have been solved.
It's low-hanging fruit. You got DNA.
Yeah.
Run it.
As soon as DNA comparison was invented, That should have been solved.
Yep, get it done. Got
So
the power. Well, tell me more about this Henry box here. So
yeah, it's kind of neat.
Did Henry give this to you, or did he give it to Bernie?
He gave it to me to give to Bernie.
Look at that. It's even got a little drawer on it.
Yeah.
A little pull-out drawer.
Yeah.
Man, that's
He
crazy.
he had met Bernie. I think I've told this story before. She had come up to the district attorney's office back when we were doing the Lucas grand jury.
Right.
And she used to come up a lot. We'd go out to lunch. She was friends with nearly everybody that worked for me.
Cool.
And I took her in to meet Henry. He was sitting at our library table. Truman Simons had been in there talking with him along with Ned Butler. And we were working on our timeline prior to the grand jury actually convening. Oh, no, yeah, it had convened, but prior to Henry testifying before the grand jury. And she walks in with her cup of coffee and a little white styrofoam cup, and Henry had been drinking out of his cup. And she got ready for another cup of coffee, and she says, "Henry, I'm going to get another cup of coffee. Would you like for me to get you one?" And he said, "Well, yes, well, thank you." And he handed her his little white styrofoam cup, and she went out and filled them both up. And as she's walking back in the door, she couldn't remember which was which. And she goes, "Here, Henry, I brought you two."
Oh, man. Yeah, there's definitely a little icky factor there. I get it.
I wouldn't want to drink after him either. No, that doesn't look like a healthy mouth.
Nope.
No.
Yuck.
But
Yuck.
in the box, she also put this in it and gave it to me. This is a note that she typed out for Greg
For Greg.
right before his 3rd birthday.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. He was born September the 10th, 1982. So this would have been 83, 84, 85. 1985, he was about to turn 3. In 1986, and I talk about this in our podcast. If you want to hear it, go listen to December the 13th of 2019, last year. It's called In Loving Memory of Gregory Feazell.
Yeah.
And I talk about what happened to my son when he turned 4.
Right.
That's when the FBI stormed into the little cafe where my wife and my son were having breakfast, made them leave their breakfast on the table, and took them out to the car and made my wife drive back to the house with an FBI agent sitting next to her where Greg usually sat. And they made him sit in the back with another FBI agent. And he saw all the guns, and it traumatized him. Mm-hmm. And he stayed traumatized for the rest of his life. And for the rest of his life, he was trying to get over that fear. He had nightmares. We found out when he was 5 years old, not quite 6, that he had already been self-medicating with NyQuil just to get it to sleep at night because he was afraid of the men with guns coming back. You know, and all of this was done by Colonel Jim Adams.
Yep.
Who is now dead.
Yep.
And I don't miss him.
He died this year.
He
I
died
do
this
not
year.
miss him.
I do not miss him. I miss my son. I don't miss him because he put all this together. And Greg Rampton, his dirty tricks guy,
yep,
with the FBI, helped carry it out. And Tom Pauken, former big Republican, Charles Duncan with Channel 8. Oh, it was something else. And all the Texas Rangers. And that started my son's drug problem. And it was rehab after rehab after rehab. But he always would come back to this fear that he just could not get rid of. But this is what, and maybe look through the camera and see if you can see this. Check it for me. 3124 down in the bottom corner. That's the FBI bait stamp.
Oh, God.
They took this piece of paper out of my home, out of my wife's possessions.
Run into evidence.
And put their bait stamp on it forever. So anytime we look at this, we're reminded of what happened that day. Mm-hmm. Of 17 people coming into my house and searching it.
God.
of taking my little boy and my wife out of the restaurant, of traumatizing my son, arresting me and taking me through the streets in handcuffs like I was some kind of mass murderer.
Yep.
You know, but they screwed up. They cuffed me in the front, and I did this. I said, you know what's going on here, and I'll still be proven right. And it took 30 years for the DNA to start coming around, but I was proven right to the point where it got the attention of Taki Odom, the producer who worked with
Robert
Rob Kenner with Netflix and put this together. It was going to be 10 episodes. They've got enough footage to do 5 more episodes. And with content getting so scarce on TV right now, and do those 5 extra episodes that they had planned in the beginning.
They really should.
What are you doing now, guys? You're certainly not doing live interviews, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know? So
I tend to agree.
Take what you've already got. They've got me and Joyce Lemons together at my home, her getting out of the car, and our emotional hug on the driveway. That never made it. Me and her talking in the backyard. Joyce Lemons, and she's dead now.
Yeah, she's passed away.
That's Deborah Sue Williamson's mom. We've got a long interview with Liz Flatt, Deborah's sister, that we're still interviewing. That we're still editing. And we're going to have 3 or 4 episodes on that murder next year. We're working on that. We're also working on the John Ben Sutter episodes. Sutter, who is my administrative assistant during all this time, who gets to tell what the FBI did to intimidate him, stealing his trash, subpoenaing him to the grand jury, threatening to arrest him during his election. And it just goes on and on and on. And then he talks, too, about what a wonderful, wonderful child my son was.
Yeah.
You know. But this is what Bernie typed in his FBI file marked 3124. And my heart goes out to Bernie. And I'll be calling her on December the 10th.
Yeah.
It says, Gregory Feazell was born September 10th, 1982, and his birth marked an important day in the life of his family and friends who had waited for his arrival. His birth was marked with much waiting room hoopla and excitement. He was wheeled from the operating room to a crowd of new friends and hospital employees. He had already made a big splash because he weighed in at a whopping 10 pounds. Gregory Feazell is a salesman. He has many accomplishments, and his most amazing feat is his love and mastery of numbers. He loves to count and can even do it in Spanish. The second year of his life, he has developed his number mastery with simple addition and subtraction. He does his chores in a cheerful manner and takes pride in a job well done. He bakes cakes, likes to decorate cookies at Christmas. His main ambition, though, this year has been to have his hair changed to black so he can look like his daddy. He is now on the threshold of turning 3. He is very excited about being 3, although he cannot see past his birthday party. Gregory Feazell is my baby and my love. I waited for him 33 years, and each accomplishment, no matter how minor, fills my heart with pride and joy. I never knew my parents, and Gregory Feazell is the only blood relative I have in this life. He is the only one I need. His daddy and I love him, and the proudest, tenderest moment in each of our lives was the day he said, Daddy and Mama.
Oh.
Gregory Feazell is great. FBI bait stamp 3124.
That's wild, man.
Screw you, FBI.
Yeah. That's cool that she kept that, Vic. That's very, very sweet.
It really is. And please go back and listen to our last December the 13th, 2019 episode in loving memory of Gregory. Because that's where I read the email that he sent to me 2 days before he died, after he had seen the Netflix documentary. And he was happy and had a job in a Mexican soap opera.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And they were on break. We were waiting to go back in January.
Yeah.
To start filming again. And I had actually been talking to him about flying up and spending Christmas with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then he quit answering my email.
Yeah. Yep.
And my last email to him was, Greg, I got to hear from you. This makes me worry, son. You know, where are you? I'm ready to buy your ticket.
Let me know.
Let me know. And you were here, Jonathan. We were at the office the day that the call came in.
Mm-hmm.
And from Mexico, from somebody that could hardly speak English, but they knew to get in touch here.
Yeah.
And all they could say is, your son is dead. Your son is dead.
God almighty.
And so that's when I got on the phone to, took about a day to find him, Javier Gutierrez.
Right.
And he was a friend of Greg's and a friend of mine, and he's a lawyer in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
Mexico City and Acapulco. If you ever need a lawyer in Mexico, Javier is your man, Javier Gutierrez. If you can't find him, send vicfazell.com a message, and I'll get back to you with his contact information, his phone number, email, and all of that. He mainly does real estate down there
Mm-hmm.
for expatriates. He speaks English really well.
Oh, cool.
And will help you invest your money in Mexico or find the perfect house you want on the beach in Acapulco, and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So he does a lot of that kind of work. But he's in a law firm, and they handle a little bit of everything from divorces to criminal law to real estate transactions and contract work. So if you need a good lawyer in Mexico, call Javier. Javier even oversaw the cremation because it was very difficult getting somebody back from Mexico. If you're going to die unexpectedly, don't do it overseas.
If you have the choice.
Don't do it overseas.
Don't do it.
You're leaving your relatives a nightmare of paperwork. But the way it turned out is the way Greg would have wanted it. His ashes were spread at his favorite place, the Boca Chica Harbor in Acapulco, near where he used to cliff dive.
Right.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and Javier arranged the entire funeral, the music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we actually had it posted on YouTube, but I think they took it down or something because the music is
Some kind of copyright infringement. Oh,
So there went my son's funeral.
that's messed up.
Yeah. I still have the video, though. And thank you for sending it to me, Javier.
Yep.
I'll see you next year, Jonathan.
See you next year, Vic.
And to all of our listeners all over the world, we love you. We thank you. We're sorry we haven't been able to do this every week like we usually do, but with the COVID-19 and the numbers going up like they are, and in Waco, they're higher in McLennan County than they are on the statewide average.
Yeah.
We're higher than just about any place except El Paso.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of odd. People don't take it serious.
Don't take it seriously. Too many people not wanting to wear their mask.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing.
It's a simple thing. Wear your mask. It's not a political statement. And it's not macho to go trying to kill your grandparents. It's just not.
Jesus.
So wear your mask.
That's true.
Stay positive. Test negative.
Fair.
Hi, I'm Vic Fazell. During these trying times, you might want to just stay home. And at the law offices of Vic Fazell, we understand. That's why we're set up to handle your personal injury claim without you even having to come in. Just give us a call, and we'll take it from there. We can send any paperwork straight to your smartphone or computer. Don't delay, because if we don't put money in your pocket, you don't owe us anything. I'm Vic Fazell.